Today we're going to be replacing the front fender of an Apollo Air. For this repair, we will need a 4mm Allen key and two 6mm Allen keys. The first thing we need to do in order to change the front fender on the scooter is obviously remove the front wheel. And the first step in that process is uninstalling the drum brake. So I'm going to take my 4mm Allen key and uninstall this screw here. Comes out no problem. Now I'm going to completely remove this piece from the drum brake in order to remove the line, the brake line. To make this a bit easier, you can pull the arm, removing the tension. Now I can pull the line out. I'm going to make sure to hold on to the spring. And now I'm just going to gently pull up this piece so now that the brake line isn't attached to the wheel at all. My next step is I'm going to take a 6mm Allen key, two of them, and uninstall the axle securing the front wheel. You need two, one to hold the bolts on the opposite side and one for the front side. Once one screw is removed, I can take the Allen key, propping the wheel up with my knee, and just simply pull the axle. Some spacers will come out as you do this. So here is the axle, and then here is one of the spacers from the opposite side that go on the inside of the fork between the wheel and its slot there. Now I have access to the 4 bolts keeping this fender secure from the underside. So I'm going to grab my 4mm Allen key again. And I'm just going to start uninstalling it. Now, the fender's completely free. You can see one screw wasn't removed all the way. And now we have the fender completely free. So now we're going to reinstall the new fender. First thing I'm going to do is install the screws. Now the holes here are threaded, so I can just install the screws. Now I have 4 screws secure in the fender, they won't come out. And I'm just going to screw one in more than the other so that I'll see it pop up from the top. Doesn't matter which one. So now I can see the post coming up, and that's going to be my first one I screw in. And I'm going to line it up with the slot in the forks here. So I'm ready. I'm going to look from the top, make sure that top one is aligned. Now I don't want this super tight yet because I want to still be able to pivot the fender to make sure the other 3 holes can be aligned properly. And I'm going to find any other screw and start installing that one. Making sure I'm checking the top that it's threading into the piece on the forks and not just running into it. Now I can see that it's gone. Once you have 2 screws secure, everything should be aligned properly and you can tighten things nice and securely. And that's it, our fender's on. Our last remaining step is just to reinstall the wheel. So to install the wheel, the first thing we're going to do is rest our axle just inside with the 1 spacer there. We're not going to put it all the way through, we just want to rest it there. And then with our tire, with the tread going the right way, you can see this marking that says rotation. It's the wheel, the direction the wheel should rotate in. We're going to put it up just enough to catch. And once I see the axle coming through, I'm not going to put it all the way through. I'm going to get my other spacer and make sure it goes in there. Now, spacers are in, wheel is mostly secure. I just need to take the screw and install it. Now with this screw, I'm going to put it finger tight just to get it resting there. And I'm not going to tighten it all the way. I'm going to leave some space just so I can still adjust and spin the drum brake so it is where it needs to be. So I can still play with the drum brake. That's perfect. Now, I'm going to put this screw that secures the drum brake in to make sure it's in the correct spot. Install that with my 4mm Allen key. Next, we're going to put this line. You need to jump it on the inside. Make sure this is coming right to this block here. And put this pin into the arm of the drum. Make sure the spring goes in between. Now I can feed the end of the drum line, the drum brake line through. And just with this piece, thread it on. Now I want to grab my 6mm Allen keys again and make sure the wheel is good and tight. Double check the drum brake, that's still good. And that's how we changed the front fender on an Apollo Air.